It's
Have you watched Hereditary too?
yeah, we
We did it for the chest, I think.
right?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was gonna bring that up about shit that I had watched because I watched it after Midsommar because I was like,
Yeah.
after Hereditary or Midsommar. Hereditary really fucking freaked me out, but Midsommar I didn't think was bad.
Midsommar was just
That
like
and,
anxiety inducing.
I mean, yeah, it's fucked
more than
up.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I don't know. Realistically, when am I? Like, I'm not gonna be put in that situation. So like, I don't know. Yeah, that's true.
Never know.
If one of you
That
guys
and
asked
the
me to go on a
dragon
trip,
tattoo.
I mean,
Yeah. To your homeland.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Matt over here.
permanent guest Joe.
Yeah. And I'm Noah. Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched all of the Mission Impossible movies. Yeah.
Joe's got like the whole rounded experience there. One after
It
another.
was kind of funny though, because the reason I watched them all was because like I saw Midsummer's on Paramount Plus, so I'm like, oh fuck it, I'll get Midsummer and then I'll just binge all of these. Might as well, right?
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think last time we talked about him when Matt was watching him, you kind of ranked him from like earliest to newest in like worst to best ish.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I would pretty much stick to that. I would say 2 is my worst because like 2 I feel like just felt like some shitty Pierce Brosnan James Bond movie. And I'm still like the face stuff is almost like too much for me.
Nice.
But like I do like how like 3 they got like more realistic. It seemed like and 3 and 4 were almost like a rebrand, like you guys are talking about. And yeah, I don't know. I guess like the order that I would put them in is probably like 2, 1, 3, and then probably like 6, and then 4 and 5. And that's not including Dead Reckoning. But like,
So Fallout was mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, it was just because like the very beginning of the movie, like when they're in that room with the guy they're interrogating, but you don't know they're interrogating him at the time. You just kind of think that the nukes went off. I'm kind of like on that guy's side. I know that sounds fucked up, but like realistically, it's never really. There's like a question posed where it's like, who does Tom Cruise who does Ethan report to, or like
the world?
Yeah, and I don't know. That question was never really answered or resolved, and also like just the whole thing about Alec Baldwin being like, yeah, you have to save the one to save the millions. That makes no sense. Like, that is, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it gets the fucking job done. Yeah. And also, I don't know if they ever like explained what IMF stands for until Dead Reckoning. I just totally missed it. I'm like, I'm assuming the INM are something to do with Mission Impossible, but like they actually said it in Dead Reckoning, and it's like the Impossible Mission Force or something like that. And I'm just like, wow, that is cheesy as fuck.
No, I
remember that. Yeah.
Probably in the first movie. That sounds like a 90s fucking line.
So that's pretty much my take, I guess. I'm glad that they've carried through.
Where does Dead Reckoning go?
Rank 7. I'd probably put it right below 4. So it'd be 7, 4, 5 is my top 3.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can agree with that on a certain level. I think Rogue Nation is one of the definitely, like, if not the best or like the most solid. It's number 2.
I don't know. I mean, I just like the. I don't know. I thought it was super interesting that like all of these people from different like intelligence agencies around the world who are apparently dead formed an organization to try to like do like I don't know. I thought that was a really interesting concept.
Yeah, like a league of people with I like Rogue Nation a lot. That's probably my favorite as well. Honestly though, I think it like my top 3 would be 5, 6, 7. I don't know, the most not like in that order, but yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Or
like
1, 2, 3 are your tops.
So 6 is my top. 6 is my 5 is my top, then 6, then 7, I think. So 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. My bad.
Fair.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not like I personally have a problem with 6 or 7. I know they were good. I feel like it also might have just been like the burnout aspect because like I kind of binged all of them. I'm kind of like, after 5, I'm kind of like, I don't know. 6 was good. I feel like it's just like at this point, it's Ethan kind of just doing whatever the fuck he wants. He's just yelling and he's like, how do you not know that this guy wanted me to do this, but like then I did this instead? I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's just Tom Cruise doing his thing.
I felt a lot of that in this one, in Dead Reckoning.
I did.
That's kind of like what I felt. I was like feeling it more in this one than any of the others, where I was like, okay, caution's kind of thrown to the wind. Like, stuff felt a little more hammy in this one, and like, I don't know. I was kind of fine with it, but
yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah. The plot usually just doesn't matter for any of the Mission Impossible movies. I couldn't tell you like half the shit that happens after I watch the movie. I just like remember like the good moments, and the highs are high for me. So it's like, I don't know. Dead Reckoning's not the best, I'd say, but it's one of the better action movies of our time, I'd say, nowadays. So
it got a little meta, which I can appreciate it for too. The whole entity thing and like.
What do you guys think about? I actually like that turn of the villain. It definitely shifted. It, like, is different than the previous 6 movies now with that. A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
One random dude,
or whatever the rabbit's foot was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I will say, I'm glad that they got rid of Jeremy Renner.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really like him. I don't think he's that good at what he does. I don't know.
That's fair.
I'm kind of on the same boat there too with it.
He's like phoning in Hawkeye these days, but his role in the Mission Impossibles, I think he's like playing, because it feels like nowadays almost every character is just like a badass and can do almost anything. Like with Haley Atwell and Tom Cruise, they both like pickpocket, vigilante, fucking nuts people.
Doing magic.
I don't know. It's nice to like if there's a Jeremy Renner guy who like is not as good. I don't know. Maybe you need that. I don't know.
What I thought about this one, that was like, I don't know, kind of, I don't know. What like kept my attention was just like, there are just so many fucking sides, or like people with whatever motives they're going after. Like there's so many groups that would just like converge at the same time. And then you're like, who the fuck is like with who in this situation?
Yeah, it changes it minute to minute.
To be honest, like once I knew that there was a train scene or a train like sequence basically, and like before that, like at that point in the movie when they're in Venice and what's her name like just died, which I kind of thought that was like kind of dumb. I feel like they kind of throw that kind of stuff in like about like Ethan's love interest.
You have to choose.
Yeah.
Well, like it's like they can just use it whenever the fuck they want. Like his wife, they just throw her in whenever they need some kind of hook or some kind of plot device.
Yeah, or some past that he has to reach back to save.
I think it was just me because like people fucking like, I mean, the ratings for this movie are super high. It seems like most people really like this movie. I'm not saying I didn't like it, but like once it got to the train sequence, I'm just like ready for it to be over, to be honest. Like
it's a long movie.
And I also kind of just don't like, I get how the whole first part is going to be getting the key, and the whole second part I'm assuming is getting to the entity or whatever, because they don't know where the sub is. But like, I don't know, I feel like it was just kind of like, was it necessary to do it that way, I guess is like my question. I don't know. But
I'd say it leaves not a lot of mystery for the next movie. You know, it's like because you kind of know that they're just going to get to the sub now. I don't know if that's the ultimate end goal of the series now is to just shut down the entity or whatever, but I don't know. It doesn't leave. I mean, I'm excited for the next one, but it definitely left you off on a like. It's kind of like into the Spider or Across the Spider-Verse, where it's like, wasn't that cool? Wait for the next one. It's like, well, finish what you're saying to me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
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 you knew the. That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, yeah.
There was like enough resolution to be like, yeah. I mean, they posed the whole like the first scene we get in the movie is that's like submarine fake out.
Oh
so
yeah, I do have a. Oh, sorry, I finished.
no, go ahead. I just said, yeah. I'm just agreeing.
It reminded me because you brought up the first scene when like all those bodies like float up to the surface and like they obviously have the keys on necklaces in there like on them.
Yeah.
So like, how is it that like the dude who's like head of intelligence or whatever for the United States, how is he the only one who knows where that sub is? And how did the other people get the keys? Like, how did the keys get separated?
Mm-hmm.
How did people get the keys from there without knowing the sub was there? I guess like I just have a lot of questions about like that, like those kind of logistics, you know? Like
I thought the American head dude, I thought he like knew that they were like plugging in the AI to that sub because it was like Russia's new biggest fucking toy, you know? So it was like I thought like wasn't that in that first thing where it's like that little drive or whatever he like puts in and it slides in, it's like so they put the AI in the sub and that's when it like went AWOL and he was like the only one who knew about that mission because it was so fucking top secret AI that fucking, you know, cutting edge, like let's see if it does what it's supposed to do. That's what I think he explains that
well, I mean, I get that part. I mean, I'm just talking about like literally recovering the keys. Like,
like where did they find the body?
He just like that was like a throwaway.
Yeah, like I don't know. That was my question.
Yeah,
like I don't
that's
know.
True.
That's a good question.
I don't know. I just thought it was like because you would have to know, right? I mean, like, or at least like I would assume
floated miles and miles.
Key would probably pick up both keys. You know, like that's why I'm just wondering like how the keys got separated in the first place. You know.
That's a good question.
They didn't check it for a reason.
That's fine.
Just keep focusing on how the key looks and how we'll get it matched together.
Yeah.
All right,
basically.
Gonna save the world.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
And then come back to life. Watch him like die at the end, and then like it's gonna be a fake out. 3 days later, he's back. He'll give you like the little wink, like he never died, and he'll be off the screen. That's the end of Mission Impossible.
Wait,
like
so,
Jesus.
Is he actually like CGI Tom Cruise? Like, is he like de-aged for like these movies? Because that's what Matt told me. Like, is that legit? I didn't actually look it up, but
I mean, look at a picture of Tom Cruise, and then look at him in this movie, and it's like
oh yeah, I was gonna
glossy,
say, like, I was glad that he thanked me for coming to see the movie in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Before my movie, he like showed up with the director, and he's like, "Yeah, thanks for coming in." And I'm like, "Thanks, Tom Cruise."
Seth Rogen just did that for his. I think it's in his I read that it's in his contracts now that like any movie he makes, he's like free to be like he wants to be de-aged, and now he has like his own models with the same companies, so it's like to me it's like not even that hard to do it anymore because they just know it's going to be like the Tom Cruise plugin. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just look at the face. It's like somebody either caked an inch of makeup on that guy, or it's like they smoothed his face off.
I think he just got a couple injections and was like,
because like I was trying to, because you told me that before I went to see Dead Reckoning, so I'm like watching it. I'm like, is he de-aged right now? Like, I couldn't tell, so like I don't know.
That's good then, but
either it's just good or.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't want to remind you how old he is on screen. Like Harrison Ford's like, oh, that guy's 80. Tom Cruise wants to still convince you that he's like doing all the. I mean, he's doing all the crazy shit. He just looks old now. So.
Top Gun, Tom Cruise.
Right.
Risky business. I mean, I'm reading theinsider.com right now. I don't know.
Legit.
I'm not a subscriber, so I don't fucking know.
Are we citing our sources at the end?
Right. Apparently, there was like a flashback scene, like that was gonna be in Dead Reckoning that required de-aging. That's what I'm reading. Don't know if there's any truth to that.
For Tom Cruise?
Originally, yeah, there was a Tom Cruise scene for him back in like 86 or 89. So they were like talking about de-aging him for the cold open, I guess. But that scene was cut. So
I don't believe it. Too many stunts. We can't fund them all.
Yeah. Tom, I'm sure Tom has like a book of like stunts or crazy shit that he's dreamt up. He's like, how many of these do you think we can? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they did definitely hit the tentpole moments of action. So I think you can only do that so many times in a movie. You know, financially and just like for an audience.
Yeah,
so maybe I just had to cut it off somewhere.
I definitely was almost out of it.
It's like too many times. You know? Yeah, that's the problem I have with every movie nowadays, though. So it's not even just specifically to Mission Impossible. It's like people are like writing movies to a structure that was formed like 100 years ago, basically, and it's like modern audiences aren't down with that. Just in general, I mean, to me, it's like you're not doing service when you're like treading water in movies anymore. But
yeah, you think that's like an attention issue with audience?
I mean, I think it is, but it
have attention issues in general.
100%. My attention span from 15 years ago is halved, if not like I have 10% of what I used to. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to me, it's not like an issue of like society fully. It's like, I think that's what cell phones did to people. Honestly, it's just like it like hyperactivated them.
Yeah. Ugh.
Why'd you come?
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of funny. Like,
Yeah, so if they just like let their brain work, like the message might come to them, but it's like they just can't get past like their own like attention span to even let the artifice happen. Like, no, I mean I get that. Yeah. I think
like it's okay to expect, like if it's just cool moments in movies, it's cool to be like, yeah, I fucking awesome, or like, you know. But like if you're talking and like, I don't know, man. Like why even go into the theater? It's just,
I think there's a difference between people who like go into a movie with no indication or no like will to let the movie happen on them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then there's a difference between like people like us who go for the movie, and then to me, it's always happens second act, like an hour and a half, hour in, where it's like, get me there. You know what I'm saying? Like we've gotten basically there, and now we're like treading for a half hour, and then like end it. Like I don't know. To me, it's like I'm watching all the people struggling with attention span, but I understand their problems because it's like you're not giving me new stuff enough to like keep me or them. You know, especially not them. So like I don't know. I can't like fault them, especially like I don't know. It's like a weird balance that every movie has to like toe, I guess. But
plus, it's just like tastes too and expectations. Like I think that's kind of like, you know, the expectations for Barbie and Oppenheimer were so high that it's like hard not to be let down. But I feel like people go into movies, if they're going to the movie theater, it's like it's just more common that they're going to be like, oh, we'll see this movie, like whatever. It's just not everyone's going to appreciate it the same way. So
nah,
yeah.
Just if you're going to the movie though, holy fuck! I just went and saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and there was like a 70-year-old who brought her grandkids, and she had a flip phone that she was like calling somebody on. Literally, the instant the movie started, she had started like calling, and the person wasn't answering. I was like, "This is a sign to not fucking call people in a movie, lady." Like, yeah. And like I let it go. I don't know, my white boy movie nerd energy was like bubbling up, obviously, but like I let it go, and then like the scene ended. Her attention span was broken, and she's like, "Okay, now I gotta start making my calls again." And I wouldn't have minded, but she's flashing the fucking phone screen at me like the whole time. So I was like, I gotta curb. My theory now is I gotta curb people's behavior, or else people will fucking stomp on you and fuck your life up, or just not be genuinely good people. So I don't know. I told her to stop. I was like, "Hey, you mind like not shining that at me every time you do it?" She's like, "Oh, sorry. Thanks."
Oh, is she like right next to you too?
Just three people down, what like 3 seats down. So I'm like,
I would have said something. Yeah,
like smacking the phone out of her hands.
Right. But it just like blows my mind that a 70-year-old woman has no movie going etiquette. You've been to a movie in your life, right? Like, and you're showing your grandkids the wrong fucking way to do it. But yeah, it's just terrible.
I feel like we talked about this like a couple episodes ago or something about how like I think it was like one of you, or I think it was this group was the people I was having the conversation with. I think it was like Hitchcock who first implemented like movie times, where you go to a movie at a specific time and then they play through the whole movie. But like before, they just had movies going on a fucking loop, so you just showed up and you watched, like you got there in the middle or something. And like I don't know, I feel like older people, I don't know what time period that actually happened in, but like older people through and
just not care.
They'll be fine. Yeah. So like I feel like also back then, I mean, like etiquette wasn't as important, I think, but like still, even at the beginning of every fucking movie, they're like, turn off your phone, like be quiet, be courteous to your neighbors. Like, why the fuck don't you listen to that? Like,
I was like, so, okay, she's turning off her phone, and movie's starting. Yeah, make sure it's on fucking silent.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman just can't sway. Just can't sway.
Yeah, I was like, God damn it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. That's one of the worst times.
Four times. That sounds.
The people that like got to go home later to their parents' house, so it's like this is their hour and a half of excitement where they get to like touch their little girlfriends. And, that's one of the worst people to have in the theater.
Yeah, lift up the thing, you know.
Yeah,
so they can get closer.
Snuggled.
Yikes.
Holy shit.
Fucking Alex challenges people to duels outside the theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's always horror movies too. I think, I think there's like a issue, not an issue in my eyes, but like for horror audiences nowadays, like you said, they go in expecting Conjuring, they go in expecting like stupid ass shit where they basically don't have to pay attention, and then it's just like holy fuck, guys, holy shit. It's like, but nowadays, like, they're making better horror movies where it's like you have to sit there and kind of think about them a little harder, you know? And some people like aren't ready. They don't know how to like experience it that because like they've been doing the same type of horror movie for like 15 years, you know, like sucks. Yeah, I don't know, but maybe they're getting trained slowly, hopefully.
I don't know. I think there's just certain types of people that can only get so deep into a story anyway.
That's true.
Regardless of genre, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why people like that are like horror movies.
Oh, you're good. That's
not as deep sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
like down for different experiences.
Yeah, right. They're in it for something else. That's not like I guess what most movie experiences are. I don't know, but it's like more of a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Movie theater tangent. Just because of Mission Impossible. I don't know. I don't know. It's fitting because like this movie had a lot of theater issues. I'd say, or like it could have been a better timing and bad marketing, in my opinion. It just wasn't that solid. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I brought this up. I remember like I don't know back in like 2020 or 2021 or something when COVID was like I don't know a bigger deal, I guess, and they were like closing shit down. They were like closing down movie sets, you know, and like testing people if they had COVID. And I'm pretty sure they were filming for this movie in London. I want to say, and I don't know. I just like one day I saw something about Tom Cruise like bitching out some crew member because they had COVID, and you like heard the clip.
Christian Bale.
And then like 2 days later, I found out that like Tom Cruise leaked that and did that on purpose to promote the movie, I guess. And it was like fake.
It was mostly to promote. It wasn't just the movie. It was like he was trying to get people to like be able to make movies again. Because like at that time, if you had one instance of COVID, your entire movie shut down for like 2 to 3 weeks. So it's like it was definitely like cheesy and hammy. It is. I mean, it's like forced and obviously fake, but it's like trying to be like projecting them. At that time, it was like, we gotta get this industry back, or else all our jobs are fucked. Don't you get it? Like, that's, I don't know.
Look, I mean, I kind of get it, but I mean, like, also, like, I don't know. I mean, you got the fucking Writers and Actors Guild strike right now. I mean, like, I don't know. Is it really that? I don't know. You got a similar situation, I guess, almost, because everything's fucking shut down. I mean, except for the money issue. I mean, that's not really part of it for this situation. I mean, if you close down,
it will be soon. Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah, right. It's not like on the
if you close down the set, I mean, like you're actually losing money. You know, I mean, like, this situation, I mean, they're not like actually. I mean, they probably did close down some sets.
I think so, like halfway through some of them. Yeah, so that would be challenging for that one. But yeah, for those. But yeah, I don't know. I hear talks are happening for the writer's strike. Or like the they're trying to get back to the table, which means they're like talking about talking, which is like
I heard
bullshit.
It was still like a long way off, but I don't know. Dude, also
the theories I've heard are like September, October.
I can't remember like what exactly was for, but it was like some IMDb description for like a movie or show or something like that, and like it's captioned like written by an AI and then edited or reviewed by somebody else or something, and like apparently people were like super fucking pissed. I don't know. I saw that like yesterday.
Fucking AI, this is bullshit.
Well, like I guess like look, if you're using the AI to write your fucking descriptions for your movies, how long is it?
Where's the line going to be drawn?
Yeah.
It's going to definitely slippery slope into something worse.
I don't know.
Well, on the bright side, we have TV. That's in my opinion still a quality threshold above a lot of movies these days, and just generally. So I don't know. That was a transition attempt to get to the Righteous Gemstones. You guys all caught up?
Yeah, I think.
Nah, dude, I haven't watched it.
You'd like it, man.
Yeah, I've watched it.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I finished it the last few days because I don't know. To me, this is a show. It's like hard to pinpoint which type of show you're going for sometimes, because this is one I think I could have binged. And I don't like to say that about a lot of shows, but like as I watched it week to week, I let them kind of go, and then I watched the last 4 together. So it was like, I don't know. I think you could watch it both. I wanted to wait. I was like, I wanted to just kind of like finish it out with like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I needed it week to week. What do you guys think? But
No, I think I had a similar feeling like somewhere last season, just because like the first season definitely felt like it was the type of show to go week by week, and then the second season kind of like I think the pace just picked up, so I was like, okay, this is like just more digestible, and like especially this season too, I was like things are just moving, things are cooking in this season, people are developing arcs and whatnot, so I was like, yeah,
let's just push through, let's go. All right, like that's what it felt like for me.
I think for me, I agree with you, Noah, about the first season, like because I mean I just binged the first 2 seasons. So like I feel like I have a different perspective than maybe the rest of you, because I don't know if you guys watched all of the show when it came out, but like I don't know, the first season I can definitely see how going week to week would have been good, but I don't know, I kind of feel like binging them was a better watch for me than watching this new season week to week. I feel like I don't know, the pacing was weird with this season. I feel like if I had just binged like the last 4 episodes, like you said, Matt, I feel like it would have overall been like way better. Because like after episode 7, I'm kind of just like, where do they go from here? And then I'm glad that they released, because I was just watching when they released them. I watched them like pretty much that day or the day after. But I'm glad they had the 2-episode finale.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like I feel like that actually, like, I don't know, there was a lot of shit that happened, and I feel like I don't know, that rounded off the season on a high note for me, because like after episode 7, I was kind of like, okay, I mean, this is cool, they got the people back, but like I don't know, I was kind of like losing interest almost, because I was kind of like, where's this, like what's
it was hard to tell where
actually going to happen, like
stuff was
for
going.
like the actual like events that matter to this universe, or their world, you know what I mean? Because like I mean, they've kind of been like losing the church, losing followers and shit, and I was just like waiting for something to change, I guess. And I don't know, that didn't happen really until like the very end, or like the finale, in my opinion.
I think that's fair. There's a lot of like the Eli delving into like Eli's family past in this most recent season, so it was like dredging stuff up.
Yeah,
that's probably
like
just
the whole
like
the different groups and shit, and
the Montgomerys and the Gemstones.
Yeah, I liked the whole cousin addition. I thought Steve Zahn was a good addition to the cast. He brought it home towards the end too.
It's like even like throughout the season, you kind of like believe what he's saying as far as like when he's preaching and stuff. But then at the end, you can like clearly tell that he's using religion to like manipulate this group of people.
For sure.
They make it pretty obvious.
I liked the Y2K kind of parallels in this season too, with like the radical group. It kind of makes sense, like a Y2K minded. I mean, that time we were pretty young, but like I kind of remember that time still, and like the paranoia. I think you can kind of link it to like modern day, like Proud Boyish, type of like fucking mindset. I don't know, like the world's ending and I gotta save it myself type of shit. But I don't know. I think right. Yeah, I mean, it was a nice touch this season. Because I like the flashbacks episodes a lot in this show. And that was a good one, I thought. But to me, I think this show gets better every season, or it has been better every season. Like the writers are just getting better at like this family and this kind of stories that they're telling. The first season, like we were saying, it's like kind of chunky and kind of like finding its footing on what the tone, what the characters really are trying to do. And now it's like very like harnessed and focused, and I don't know. I think this might be my favorite season, honestly. I thought like I said that about the last season, and it's continuing for me. I didn't really lose anything this season, or like towards the end, I was actually very happy with how it ended, and I could see it as like an ending. So I'm kind of worried about like what's to come, or like what the next conflict is, or who it is.
There's not like too much, like I don't know, like information on like that where people are headed next. The only person that I was like interested in because he's like he just like came back as a badass is Gideon. Tearing shit up.
Assuming he's gonna
I mean,
he's
him
gonna like join the
preaching
church.
I'm assuming
and,
he
like,
will take up the reins.
Revamps and shit. Yeah,
because I feel like it wasn't actually like resolved. Where like, I mean, yeah, there was like the fucking weird act of God shit that happened during the baby Billy's
Bible
I don't
bunkers.
know, Bible, whatever the fuck that show's called.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I feel like that's still like, I don't know. I feel like that wasn't. It didn't feel like resolution to me for like their overall like situation as far as like their followers and shit like that. Like,
no, I could see that. Yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like
resolved,
they're still kind of in hot water. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't really go into their follower stuff much after they introduced it. I think this season, especially with like the Dusty storyline, the like NASCAR dude or whatever at the beginning, it's like basically like first chapter, last chapter, where it's like they introduce that kind of like basically go a whole different direction with the season, and then they're like, "Fuck, where do we go? Fuck, maybe Billy's Bible bunkers. Let's bring everybody, And they brought it back, and it worked to me. But I think I kind of get what you're saying, where it's like they start a storyline, and then sometimes they have to remember to get back to it. It feels like in this show sometimes, But.
Yeah, it's fair criticism.
But I think this is a show that can do anything. It has a tone that can like go anywhere. I don't know. It's very like, I mean, it's very funny. Obviously, it makes me laugh every episode.
Anything, Matt?
I mean, it goes dark. It like the explosion through the store. It comes out of nowhere, and it's like totally not something you'd think in like an HBO comedy. I don't know. I don't know. I respect the show a lot, and for what it's doing and for what it can do, it's obviously not afraid to show men's dicks in a way that have never been shown on television. Like, it's just like bold. So like,
I don't think I needed it. Because you saw like multiple. I was thinking of BJ
so
at the end of this.
Yeah. The fight, like the naked fight with him. I mean,
that was what I thought of after.
Yeah, right.
Fucking, it's ridiculous.
But I don't know. It's solid because like when they're on the ranch or whatever, when they're kidnapped and there's guns being pointed around at them and stuff like that, like I actually felt stakes, and I don't feel that doesn't happen all the time with like shows like this. I actually was invested and thought someone could pull the trigger on a character, which is I don't know. That means you're doing something right, in my opinion. To like get your audience there. So
yeah, I think Danny McBride his stuff just has that energy, that chaos energy, like through it. That's like the show definitely thrives off that.
For sure.
But
really,
even like his touching moments make me laugh. Like when he's like being like just real, like down to earth, like when it's like the moment of something his character developing. It's just like he just presents it in a goofy way, and I'm like, yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he is really good. Yeah, he's got it locked down. Especially like this one, he's got it like contained more. Like his character can't be as like out or aggressive as like his other ones. So he's playing it very tame in a way, but also getting that like Danny McBride energy out there. Is it just me though, or I was feeling this season like Judy is basically like the main character of this show, or like her struggle is like more like central or like meaty, maybe just this season, but to the show in general, I feel like, because Danny McBride's obviously like the main character, but his character, like, it's more goofy. It always kind of goes back to the goofiness and like the not being taken seriously as much, type of thing. I don't know. For this season, I really like Judy's story. She had a lot of conflict, obviously, but I would give that actress the award right now for best comedy actress. I don't know. She like wows me every time I like see her do shit. So
yeah,
I agree with that.
Her writing is fucking bonkers.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But as far as like her being like, the main focus, I feel like she definitely was for this season. But I don't know. I feel like Jesse had the spotlight for pretty much the other two seasons, like because he was kind of the main character. And then
maybe just this season. Then
definitely had more shit going on last season, but like really didn't have too much going on. Because I think it was just like Judy kind of had a lot of shit going on, you know?
Definitely. I mean,
But
yeah.
yeah, like even in like the first season, because like Jesse has this little like got caught on camera. Gideon, had his whole thing, and they almost like leaked it on him. So like I don't know. I feel like this was the situation where she had to clean up, her shit. So like I don't know.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. I'm glad too that Kelvin and Keith finally
I know
came out and like are okay with like being in their private lives or whatever.
That, though. And like they didn't really like reference it after, so I'm just like kind of wondering like what I mean, obviously Jesse and Judy are cool with it. Like as
Jesse's face is like
right after.
Yeah, that's good shit. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. It was a very cathartic ending for me this season too, with watching. Is it Tammy Lee? She's like watching as a ghost, like the family, just like watching monster trucks destroy a bunch of random shit. Like the monster truck like bits in this season, I thought like brought it home for me as like kind of like digging into like the meaning that the Gemstones bring with like this Southern theatricality. It's more about like entertainment, but it's about community too. It's like I don't know. It was like it's very like wholesome in a weird way in the show. But I don't know. That's all I really have to say about it. I like it. That's one of my top shows I think this year. Easily top 10, if not top 5. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it's good. It's up there for sure.
It's probably one of my tops.
Yeah,
I'd have to look at the rest of my list. I don't know.
As far as like HBO comedies go, too, this is like you can feel its roots. I mean, it's been like Eastbound and Down, Vice Principals. It's basically like 10 to 15 years of doing HBO comedies now. You can like it feels like old HBO to me almost, but it's like modern and fresh still, if that makes sense.
Old HBO.
Hey, I'm going through The Sopranos right now, so I'm feeling the old HBO.
I was like thinking about it.
I watched my season for the year now, so I'm going to just do that every year for the next 10.
What season?
I'm on season 3 right now, so I'm in there. Watched it.
Because I watched the first season, and then after that, I think I just binged it, and I'm like, I don't think I can take any more of this right now.
It's not the most like grabbing or like dramatic, but it's quality. I mean, I watch it because it's
week
like
to week. I bet I would be way more interested. But like,
if I watched it in 2001, it's like it set the standard. I mean, it set a lot of place for everything nowadays. So I kind of you just got to appreciate it on a certain level, and it's good. It's good. And like character work in that way. Like they have like 13 episodes a season where they dig into everything, and now they know to put it to like 8. But like it just really shows that you can take your character in all these different ways, and the audience will still be there. So it's good. But anyways, shall we move on to some other discussions?
Yeah, what do we got up first?
Whew. Midsommar. I just said Midsommar. Midsommar.
Wow, seriously?
I just visited Sweden, and I actually now identify with the culture. So,
you ever listen to Bon Iver?
Bon Iver?
Yeah, that's apparently how you're supposed to say it. Like I found that out like a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, wait, what? I've never heard anybody say it like that. But like, I don't know. I guess that's how you say it. Like, I
think every person that listens to Bon Iver has to be corrected on like, because I remember like 5-10 years ago, I was like, hey, you guys listen to Bon Iver? And Justin was like, it's Bon Iver, man. I'm like, okay.
Justin said that?
Yeah, Justin corrected me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Holy shit! All right, yeah.
I think you just got to learn, But now you know. But anyways, Midsommar, back on the movie chess train. It's kind of exciting. Back on the movie chess train though. This would be 51 because I never posted the Avatar one for 50
movies, guys.
That's crazy.
Well, we did. Yeah, you'll start the back half of this now. The back 50. Yeah, you missed a lot of good ones though. Yeah, you should go back and check any out that seem interesting to you. But yeah, number 51 now, Midsommar. I'm not gonna. It's Midsommar. Anyways,
I was
Ari Aster's second film. He only has 3 films now, but this is right smack dab in the middle. I've seen his other 2, and now I'm cleaning up my watch list with Midsommar. It's been hyped since it came out for me as like this other type of horror movie. And yeah, I mean, I'll toss it around, but to me, I think it lived up to a lot of things as far as like what I was expecting, and I came away different. I mean, I'm fucked up a little bit, I guess, in ways. So I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think? Movie Pass.
Yeah. Mhm.
Nice. And your mom does too.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it a lot. And like you were saying earlier about Talk to Me, I think, and those people like about how like most people go to see horror movies for like the jump scares and stuff, and I feel like this is definitely one you had to think about more. And I don't know, I like a lot of like the elements and like different like scenarios that they posed. Like at the beginning, I mean, I don't know, you're kind of introduced to this couple. The dude obviously doesn't want to be in this relationship, but he won't do anything about it. I think that was like one of the most interesting parts about like their character dynamics too throughout the movie, because like all of his friends are like, you should break this off, and like they are kind of all dicks except for maybe the guy who's actually getting his PhD. But like I don't know, like I feel like he should have just followed what he actually, I don't know, I feel like that was what I got out of it, because like I feel like you should just follow what you actually want to do instead of just like a situation that like I don't know, you feel like you're like you can't get out of or something like that. I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, even Florence Pugh, yeah, I mean, but like even like halfway through the movie, she's just like, I mean, it's cool. Like, what do you actually want? She basically, like, just straight up is like, dude, you clearly don't want to be in this relationship. What do you want? And tries to get him to actually say it. And then he still won't even do it. And I'm just like, dude, like, I don't know. Is it going to take you the whole movie to fucking, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was, like, pretty interesting to me.
No,
you know?
definitely.
I know what you're saying.
Character dynamics throughout this movie, you know, in this group.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then a bunch of other weird fucked up shit happened, you know?
Yeah, this whole movie is like a cerebral look at like like relationships, social things. Like yeah, I don't know. And then the cult like the sense of community, like what that effect does with people, like yeah, I don't know. This is like a crazy psychoanalysis. I feel like Ari Aster's got like one of the comments I saw on Letterboxd was like, "Thank God Ari Aster didn't go to therapy," and it's like,
No.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, he definitely writes to his fucking heart. That's for sure.
I will say, so I had said earlier, I watched Hereditary like right after this, because I didn't think Hereditary was going to be how it was after watching Midsommar. So, and I had already seen Beau is Afraid, so I'm like, okay, it can't get like too freaky, right? Hereditary fucked me up, but still, having watched all three of Ari Aster's movies now, and knowing that Beau is Afraid is like what he got to like that's his most recent movie. I don't know how the fuck he got there, and I'm kind of like, why did he make that movie? Like Beau is Afraid, because like I don't know. Now I feel like it gave me a different perspective on watching Beau is Afraid, because it's like
for me too a little bit.
It's like the progression from Hereditary to Midsommar was great. I mean, like Hereditary was pretty good. I feel like it still had some problems for me, but like Midsommar was, I don't know. I thought that was a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Making the jump from that to Beau is Afraid, I kind of didn't really understand how he got there. But I don't know.
I haven't seen it, so I'm curious. Yeah.
I think it's all part of the conversation, I'd say, but to me, I actually came out a little more appreciative of Beau is Afraid after watching Midsommar, strangely, just because Hereditary and Midsommar, absolutely quality horror movies, the likes of which like haven't been made in this vein of quality for like the last 15 to 20 years, I'd say, honestly. Like as far as just like you said, like cerebralness that this brings to you. But Hereditary and Midsommar honestly feel like they're almost saying the same thing. I don't know. It's like by the end of it, it's like the king and queen of trauma. Literally, it's like the male and female version of the story almost, where it's like Hereditary is like dark and brooding and very like internal, and then like
Beau is Afraid is the kid.
Honestly, yeah, it's like the next. It's like he tried to take a different avenue of horror. It went on way too long, and somebody needs to like tell him when to cut and let go. But like,
I mean, there were good parts of Beau is Afraid. I like how I could get deep into like certain things, or like you could like really pick out certain details and be like, wow, this is like, I don't know, like how his apartment building is on a picture, like in a picture on like his mom's wall in her house. Like in like you basically find out that like I'm assuming she owns that apartment building or created that apartment building or something. And I don't know, it's just like some weird shit. But I mean, we talked about it before. The whole forest scene didn't need to happen, and like it's just, I don't know. I feel like Midsommar and Hereditary were way more connected, even though Midsommar was more like cerebral. But I mean, like Beau is Afraid was just like
outside.
So much, just like too much room to like.
I get you. I
mean,
mean,
your own thoughts, I guess. Like I don't know. It was just like
that's fair.
I feel like
I get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
like I feel like these two, he's like taking you on a journey, like carrying you by the hand. That one, like metaphorically, you literally get lost in a forest. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, you get lost in the weeds there. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess like the argument I got from it is like Midsommar and Hereditary, while they're like very well-made movies, it's like, is Ari going to basically say the same thing every movie then? Because then it's not going to be as good anymore. You know, just straight up, it's like these two are back to back, like dual sides of a coin almost, as like great horror, you know, like, and I don't know. I'd like to see him try other things. So I don't think Beau is Afraid is like as huge of a misstep as I originally thought it was, just because I respect him like trying it.
Other shit.
Yeah, I don't, you know, I'll go for his next one too, just because I'm curious what he's got, you know. So
yeah, that's why we make this podcast, right?
That's why we're here. You gotta discuss it,
well,
right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, so, yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Is Alex streaming right now?
That's Alex, yeah. You just cut out there a bit.
Oh, shit, yeah. You're back.
You said the lighthouse is more, and then you've been waiting. I have not actually.
Yeah.
I need to.
Hey, I could be down. Hey, fuck me up, but I liked it.
All right. Mm-hmm.
To watch it for next week.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm. They definitely are on like similar journeys as far as like they're getting the reins to do it, and now it's like their third movie, fourth movie, they have to like prove if they can do it long term almost, you know, like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say though, in Midsommar, specifically, Ari Aster's direction like really stood out to me as like something that was special. Just his shot choices, his decisions he was making. Obviously, there's like the in your face ones with like the twisting drone shot, you know, when they shit's turned upside down now that they're in Sweden or whatever. But there was one shot early on when they're in Sweden, and it's like just the group shot of them all. And they're all, you can see like all the information, all the faces basically. And the only person who's obscured is Pele, the guy who we don't know his like intentions or kind of like why we're here for him and stuff. It's like, just like in the simplest moments, you could tell that there was like thought put in to me. So just a huge highlight for Midsommar, especially. It's so good.
I feel like that's also kind of interesting because like, you know, like, I don't know, I was kind of zoned in on the boyfriend for a while, but like even like anybody when they do something in this movie, it seems like even if they don't tell you what they mean or their intentions, it is clearly visible on the surface, like what they want as a like, or what they're like, especially the guy and like Florence Pugh, but like that guy, I mean, you know that there's probably some shady shit that's going to go down, but you don't really know his intentions. So like that, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of interesting because like the biggest thing I picked out from this movie is just like how, what I said, you know, what I just said, I mean, like how you can clearly, I feel like, tell what people want out of their situation based on their dialogue or like what they want. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
So I kind of, I don't know. That makes me feel good that that's what I.
Yeah, it's so clear, like through the cinematography and through the writing, like what the intention of everything. Like everything is so intentional in the movie, down to like every shot, down to the set design. You know, I'm sure there's got to be some color grading because everything's so fucking vibrant and
it's great.
All the all the trippy mushroom shit.
I haven't like tripped, but yeah, I don't know. Once the stuff started moving, I'm like, oh shit, is this what it's like?
I will say that's one of the more
I was like
effects that I like. It's definitely capturing the spirit of a trip more than like other shit. So
I was surprised by it. I was like, damn, that's kind of nailed that.
Yeah,
Ari Aster's out there doing. On like spirit journey in the
balls,
desert,
man.
Tripping balls somewhere in Scandinavia.
Yeah. I agree with you. Like everything's very intentional in this movie. I feel like the moment that this movie is gonna like hinge for a lot of people is right towards like the end in the last like 10 minutes, when basically that's when it's put into the audience's head and like they have to decide why it's happening. If you know what I'm saying, like why? I mean, obviously she chose to have him burnt alive or whatever, you know. But like the argument that I feel like a lot of people will leave this movie with is like, did he deserve it? You know, obviously, or did like he get roped into this and then she misinterpreted things and then it like snowballed, you know, like. So like to me, it left it so unsatisfying that it added to the overall like horror of it, because like you were saying, Joe, kind of in the beginning, it's like what was left unsaid or like undiscovered or kind of like in the ether, like where they won't talk or won't figure it out. Like that's almost more scary to me and how it like got to the end goal than just like intentional acts, if that makes sense. Like it's like it kind of just like got out of their hands and she just fucking like made this decision and like
or mainly just because in my opinion the guy didn't say how he felt like that. I feel like it hinges on him as a person, like out of anyone else in the group, because they all tried to get out of him, you know what I mean? Like so I don't know.
And I mean I guess like we can talk more on like theory, but like I came out of this movie being like, so basically every year they grab a girl and a guy and like they basically nurture the girl to win the competition every time and lead her away and then have the dude bang somebody, and then is like this is like all a dance that they do every year, you know, and like in that way it does hinge on the guy though,
right? Like it was like
I thought it was like every year.
something like that.
Oh, really?
I think they did do it every year, but I think they said that year in particular was special or something. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't
Might
know.
be.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I mean,
don't know.
that makes sense.
I think they do it every year, though. They still said. I think that for some reason that one was special. I don't know.
Well, then I also thought Pele says his parents died in a fire, which means that they were both chosen when they were like parents of Pele to go burn in the, like that's the only way that they could have both died in a fire, I thought. So like, I don't know. They're doing it semi often, but like, I don't know. It made me question like how they do it every time. When they're ready to go.
A cycle, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I thought it was funny.
I don't know.
I thought it was funny where I don't know if it was like purposely. I don't know. Like I said, everything kind of feels intentional, but like when they do that, the Etis stoop and they jump off, it's like they're dying the same time that like douchey character is like fucking some chick on the commune, So it's just like I don't know. It's like there's some. I was like, that's. Am I supposed to read between the lines here? Like, I don't know. Yeah.
As for like the end, like what you were talking about, Matt. Well, I guess like what I got out of that was that she just like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like a main theme of the movie was that she lost her family, and that this is another family. Like what the guy, I don't remember what his name was. Started with a P or an R. Pele, yeah. He was talking about how like the whole community is his family, and how like I feel like she basically just accepted that like she wants to be part of the family finally after like he kind of convinced her, and I mean she won the thing, and they all kind of like accepted her, you know what I mean? So like I don't know.
Yeah. Cast aside the other people. Literally.
Oh shit. Wow, I actually just saw something about it today that there used to be some cult in Kankakee that like apparently brought in people. It was in the 70s, I guess, like from 1971 to 1979, and they brought in all these kids from like separate denominations of like religions. So I mean, like I think it was mainly just Christianity because of like what happens in Kankakee. I mean, like I would assume that there's not really much else besides that at that like in that area, but maybe them too. So like I guess at one point in 1979, these people just disappeared, and like literally nobody knows what happened to them at all. But I guess like some of the people from the group, like the leaders of the group, have resurfaced in Kankakee and were like handing out Bibles and shit to people.
Round 2.
Yeah, so like I don't
try it again.
I don't know, like fucking kind of wild. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Playing on the fear of death and the fear of the unknown.
Fear. It's really the.
That's the real killer.
I think the fear, but fear itself. Yes.
I don't know.
I'll say I got a couple gripes just overall in the movie is I don't know. I feel like with Ari Aster's movies, they legitimately make me drowsy. I don't know if it's just like I watched this one kind of late, but same thing happened with Beau is Afraid. I legitimately get tired, and I don't know if it was just too long. Hereditary, not as much. I will say that one kind of kept me more, and I think that's the best one for me. Midsommar is it's like very close, and if I watch them more again, it might shift or whatever. But Hereditary is just like its own fucking beast, and it's so solid. And the ending of that movie, it's very similar to this ending. It ends at such a like
I was watching by myself. I'm like high as fuck in my apartment. I'm like, holy fuck! I was not expecting this. Like,
right. But I feel like his movies just get a little bit repetitive, maybe, or like you can only tease cult mystery so many times before like you got to show me. I don't know. That's just my expectations as an audience member. And this movie,
do you think there was cult mystery in Beau's Afraid? Or I guess is that how you interpreted that end scene?
No, I kind of interpreted that end scene as like very metaphysical, like almost in his head, like, or some shit. Head, yeah. Yeah, and then these ones are very like real in the world endings, I guess. Yeah, for Midsommar specifically, I guess like by the end of this, I lost track of like who were the sacrifices and who were like killed. Like when they were putting the bodies in there in the little thing, I was like, okay, I think that's that guy. But like, I couldn't like add up their sacrifices and shit. It just like I would lost something there. If that was, I don't know if it was just me, but like, and I didn't know who was who. I don't know. Did you guys experience something similar?
I don't know. I can't. I watched it a couple weeks ago, so I don't remember the numbers. Like, did it say how many specifically?
It was like 9. I want to say it was 9 sacrifices or something. 2 were we each supplied. 2 they supplied. 4. It was like I was like lost. You know, I was just like, what the fucking like.
Because I guess like from the outsiders, there's at least 4 guys 7, and 1 girl.
And then the other.
What happened to the girl? Because I didn't see her there.
Her too.
Right. I thought they ate her. I thought she was the meat pies for sure.
Fuck, I don't know.
Remember on the table when there's like the visage, the
pube pies.
Oh yeah, that was
the pube pies.
Yeah.
Or the big feast. And there's like a something in food sculpted into the shape of a woman. I was like, all right, they're eating their cannibals too. Like the fuck, like
I don't know. Just heard a scream off in the distance, and no one's like, what was that? There's like, that was a scream. Okay, you know, like, yeah. I mean, it left like open doors, which is nice for a horror movie because it's like unlike other ones for me, where it a lot of it is happening in your brain now, where it's like, wait a minute, that means that. Holy fuck, you know, like, but it left a little to be desired as far as like explanation for me, or just like leading me, because like I really liked William Jackson Harper, I think his name is that. It's Chidi from The Good Place.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a good character.
The one I said might be a good person,
right? Until he goes and snaps pictures of their like shit, and he's like, it's like exploitative, and he gets a hammer to the head for it. Yeah. But it's like it kind of just like flows by, and then you see his foot out of the ground, but it's like, why? Just because he was in the church? You know, I don't know. And how do you explain it? I don't know. Like they like hand wave away a lot of like their friends' disappearances in this movie in ways.
Threads, dude.
I'm just trying to be a well-rounded reviewer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I know.
So those are the gripes. It's not that huge, and overall, I can like hand wave away a lot of them for the overall experience of the movie for me, because. I mean, that's all I really had to say, because it was a 4-star movie for me at the moment. It could be elevated to 4.5, even more potentially if I want to watch it again. But yeah, it's very solid. So yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to go lay down.
Yeah. Heavy.
Yeah, dude. One of my friends has like the director's cut. So I guess it was like, I don't know, I had maybe like 15, 20 more minutes of stuff. I didn't end up watching that, but I kind of wanted to.
I wonder.
Or maybe I will watch that next time.
Yeah.
See what they added.
Yeah.
Or see what's in there that's not in the regular cut.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, final note, I guess, like this movie opened extremely engaging for you. I mean, as far as like relationships, it leads you in very easily, I'd say, but also like once the absolute one of the like the darkest moment I think of that movie that's going to stick with me is what happened to her family. So like,
yeah,
it's fucking.
I was not really expecting that, like, because like, based on how like they posed her character and her sister, it seems like she does that all the time. So I'm like, okay, yeah, her family's probably fine, you know, like, but goddamn.
Such an elaborate way to go about it, but also just like the imagery of like the hoses attached to her face and shit. And I was just like, wow, Ari, like,
Some guy talks to you with an accent, maybe some kind of Scandinavian country, like, get out of here.
Not joining. Yeah.
The dread.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like how all of this movie was like real too, as in like there was no like supernatural stuff going on. I thought that was like, I don't know, really
That's
cool,
what makes it different. Yeah.
Also,
it's
just like going into Hereditary after that, like I feel like that's what made Hereditary scarier for me, because I was not expecting supernatural shit. Because like I had just watched Midsommar and nothing like that happened, so I'm like, okay, I mean,
yeah,
the other side of it,
and then some chick floats up there without a head, and I'm like, oh my god, like,
like, is this real? Holy fuck! Yeah.
Shit just popped off like the last like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh my god,
yeah, she went crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Holy hell. Yeah. I mean, that's how you. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's.
Dude, like,
I mean, just thinking about that moment though, that makes me. I don't want to watch that movie again, but that's a great horror movie, man. Just like the amping up of that energy at the end there, it's so fucking nuts.
Yeah. Score gets crazy.
Yeah. Well, shit. I mean, most of us have completed Ari Aster's filmography, but it's so limited. I guess I'm excited for the next one. So
yeah, I guess we also almost completed it.
There's a director's dive.
Right, yeah.
Fuck Bo is Afraid when everybody finishes it, and then we'll just cap it off.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah. A picture.
Call him Doctor at least, all right?
Another Swedish story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is my
nice.
second watch, but yeah. Was this your first, Alex? Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is not really a movie I plan to like revisit. Like not that it's bad. It's pretty good. I mean, we'll get into it, but like,
I think
in line with
to watch it once, like.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it's fucking dark, man. It goes there.
Watch it again.
Yeah,
it for sure is.
Yeah.
Had an intro sequence.
I was about to say we should like the intro sequences at the end of this too, like separate from the movies, because like every single one has one. This one to me felt like I actually just started watching Black Sails a little bit, but there's a lot of intros like this where it's like a 3D object with like a cool texture, It like definitely feels like the TV intros around that time when this came out, where they're like, "Dude, that's the sickest fucking Black Sails. Holy fuck, it's for them to do it!" And like, I could honestly, if it was that company, I wouldn't be surprised. But it's cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I respect his like firm stance on opening sequences. I don't know. It's like an older thing, but yeah, right. Right.
I'm kind of down with it. I kind of like bring that back. I'm down. More movies.
Right.
Intros.
If you got something cool like that, fuck it. I'll watch it.
It's like the whole reason TV shows have them, right? It's like 40 episodes. Just do it for your movie.
Right. There's some that you never skip, so if it's good enough, it's fucking worth it. Oh yeah. Succession was one that I always watched.
Yeah, I was
towards the end. I was like, I don't know if I need it, but
I started skipping Succession.
That's fair.
Severance and Shrinking, both
Severance.
Apple shows.
Yeah, that's
True.
true.
I'll watch both of those.
Yeah, the Shrinking one, I always love that. Yeah.
It's just got a good vibe, good music.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's chill.
Yeah.
I actually just watched The White Lotus, and I think that is one of my favorite opening sequences, honestly. So both seasons. Yeah, and I watch that every time.
But we include an anime?
Yeah, I just went through it like 2 weeks ago.
We'll put that on a separate category. Anime intros.
Oh God, no!
How many? So many.
I'll skip that shit every time.
So many.
Yeah.
I like a good minute. Like, yeah,
it
really does.
You know, for what you're watching.
Right. True. For sure. Game of Thrones, I didn't skip that one that often either, just because the music was good, the map was cool. So.
Yeah.
Well, I did actually skip it a lot because I binged 7 fucking seasons.
That's a long time.
Hot damn.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the dragon tattoo sequence, or just the dragon tattoo in general. Yeah, so it's based on, these are like really well acclaimed books. Apparently, I've never read them. Maybe I should. 3 books, yeah. And it's kind of unfortunate because I think Fincher planned on doing all 3, and obviously this movie I think is not, if not his worst financial movie, it's bad. It did bad in theaters, and on that they decided not to do anymore. But also, like, I don't know. Rewatching this movie, I find that it is definitely one of Fincher's weakest movies, in my opinion. So I don't know if I needed the other 2.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like mid to lower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I agree with that. It was good. It was everything kept me like encapsulated in the story, and like I was invested in the family he's investigating and all that. I was more down to I was just like happy to see Daniel Craig back kind of in like a detective mode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. After watching this one, I'm like, oh, Glass Onion and Knives Out. It's like,
I'm like, I fuck with this. From this.
Yeah, like I fuck with this. This is like a good fit for him. So maybe he helped carry it a lot for me. I just dug his character too. His character just like, I don't know, came across so smart and
very straightforward and like knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. There's like enough twists and turns throughout the plot of like, to keep you guessing until the end. It is like, I don't know, there was stuff that hit me in this one that I really liked, that I like near the end when is it Stellan Skarsgård, the bad guy,
Skarsgård. One of those Skarsgårds.
One of them, dude. Yeah. Where he's like, you should always trust your instinct, and it's funny because like when when Daniel Craig's character is first being introduced to everyone, he's like the first guy that you like get a sense of like uneasiness for. At least I did. Everyone else came across like willing to help and like just telling their and then as soon as like he opens the door and like that like I don't know, like that kind of crazy smile, I'm just like, what's up with this dude? Like, yeah, I don't know if I fuck with this guy's. Yeah,
I think the main guy is he one of those people from Hot Fuzz? Like he's one of the main people in town. He runs the supermarket. Is that same guy?
The older dude?
I don't know.
The old dude?
Yeah, because he was just like murdering people too. So
yeah,
I guess like I didn't even like think about it at the time, but I'm like, he's the fucking murderer. That's what I should have thought.
The greats are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, there's good twists and turns. Like the Fincher nails the crime, the mystery stuff. So I thought it was mid, but it wasn't like too bad. I might rewatch it. It's definitely jarring as fuck.
Yeah.
Some of those, but yeah.
Yeah, when it gets to Stellan Skarsgård, the reveal basically of the whole mystery, I mean, the movie like pops off in that moment, and it becomes like a great movie, and then it like immediately dips back to like mid. You know, it's like that scene though. I mean, that's a great sequence. Once like Daniel Craig enters that house and then like dives out of the house, comes back in the, you know, it's like
holy fuck, he just gets him back in there.
Yeah. He's like, you should have just left. Like, why'd you come back in? You know, like, yeah, it's great. I mean, that's great shit. To me, I think like I came away thinking that the movie basically relied too much on you like knowing the story or being okay with just like hearing it, because like the book did it, you know. So it's like, we got to hit all these checkpoints for you, and it's like they're interesting, right? I mean, it's in the book, you know. Like, it's fucking good, you know. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't that great. I mean, like the case, I almost wrote that case out of my head as it was happening because I just didn't follow it or care about it. I don't know. And I like the family aspect of it, where it's like
confusing for sure.
There's a past history. It's so confusing, but that's just because the plot like glazes over things a lot just to get to like.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Elizabeth's storyline.
Yeah, I don't know. Like overall, I feel like I thought it was like okay. Like you said, Noah. I think you said like middle of the pack, low. I mean, like I don't know. I'd put it above a lot of his, but like still not really that good. But I think one thing that I was like thinking about after I watched this movie, and I think it just like clicked now when you said it was like a 3-book series, because like I mean like really like. The main character is not Daniel Craig. It's the girl with the dragon tattoo. I don't remember her name.
Elizabeth.
But like, it feels so disconnected between their two characters because it's just like flashing between both of them for like the first half of the movie. Yeah. And like, she doesn't really get any time with Daniel Craig until like the last half of the movie.
For sure.
And I like at first I'm like, why would you do it like that? That doesn't make any sense. But when you said that it's 3 books and it, like, in book form, I kind of get it because like they're probably like fleshing out her character more, and this is like her first arc, and she'll probably have more to do in the next 2 books.
Right.
But also like from like David Fincher's standpoint, where was I going with this? I had some point I was gonna get. I don't know. Maybe it'll come back.
I agree, because especially how it ended, where she like makes the jacket for him.
Yeah, because like Daniel Craig, I realized like he literally didn't change at all. He went back to the chick he was seeing, like still cheating on his wife, or she's cheating on her husband or something like that. So I mean, like he's literally just a static character. And then I feel like that's when it flipped to that, like she's supposed to be the main character. Because I'm like, why didn't this end after that sequence where you find out that Stellan Skarsgård is like the bad guy, like that he's been looking for, and like then there's a whole sequence after that, and I'm like, shit. Well, I guess I don't know.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, the whole time I thought that the girl with the dragon tattoo was this Harriet chick. For like, I thought it was teasing that for like a little while. I was like, all right, she's on this. Yeah, she's like, she bounced from the family. She's on this revenge tear to like get back to him somehow, and like.
The last 10 minutes, I mean, it sucks because like you need that to like give the mystery out, because basically like Harriet's alive and she just faked her death or whatever, right? I mean, I think, but like, yeah, narratively, it's just like, oh, you know, like it just dips hard. But I mean, yeah, I get what you mean about like, it's like the meeting of the minds took way too long in the movie. You know, it's like an hour and a half in or some shit that they finally meet.
And I'm assuming that's just like to flesh out her character for probably like the next books or like the next movies, you know? Like,
well, it did give you a lot of background information on her, obviously. That's like the darkest moments of the movie for me, obviously, with like her and her parole officer or whatever. Yeah. I mean, to me, they did like a standard like 3-point, 4-point like narrative where it's like you introduce what the situation is, then like the one character shifts it by like going too far. Then he like ultimately shifts it by like being a fucking psychopath, and then she comes back and like revenges it, you know. So it's like you have to do like all 4 like 5 steps or whatever, you know, to do that right. But it's just like you just took so much real estate of the movie to do it, and it's like such a dark storyline that I don't want to spend the time doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like I think that's kind of where the struggle is.
If you do want to add that into this movie, because I was thinking like, you know, I mean, you could add in like a side plot for her and have like it be resolved at the end, but then I feel like you kind of forget about it, or it'll like lose meaning maybe, like if you don't do it all at once. I don't know.
Right. Or you could have like started it.
Like, I don't know.
You could have started it if you really wanted to, you could have streamlined the story to like already be abusive-ish in ways, and you are like once she goes into the office for the third time or whatever that we see, we could have started that scene and been like, wow, that's a fucked up situation. Holy fuck. And then the revenge scene right after the stage for Lisbeth's character fully. So it's like, I don't know, maybe cut one scene. That's just kind of like my theory.
Other thing about her, when she shows up at the very beginning and her hair is all like fucking spiked, but she just got off a motorcycle and had a helmet on.
She's that badass, dude.
Encapsulating that vibe. I will say a couple gripes as far as acting in this movie goes. Some accent work. I don't know with
French?
her, and
she's supposed to be French. Is that like what I was picking up?
So yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah.
And then Robin Wright was another kind of side character that you visit every once in a while, and she was doing like a Swedish accent or something. I was like, Robin, come on, let's try a little harder. I don't know. That was just me though.
That's fair. I think I ended. I haven't logged any of these movies recently, but I'd probably end at like 3.5 for this one. 3.5, maybe 4, just because I don't know. I like how it's dark. It definitely goes. I mean, fucking half the family's Nazis and shit, and there's like fucking rape scenes, and it's like if you're looking for that ick, like this movie definitely gives it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't say I'd like come around to this one again soon. Maybe down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would even show this one to I would be like,
how do you recommend it?
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, yeah. So,
I mean, also I think it's like 3.5. I gave it 3.5 the first time, and I honestly think I could take it the other direction down to 3 if I wanted to, just because like this watch didn't do anything for me that the first one. It didn't make the movie better for me at all. Like it. To be quite honest, like after watching The Social Network, it's kind of a shocking step down in quality for like what Fincher can do. And like, I don't know.
He's got to get that psychopath stuff out,
I guess, yeah. You just got to murder somebody and get it over with. And yeah, I don't know. It's like the intentional filmmaking or the intentional storytelling is just not there compared to Social Network, or like the punchiness, like it's so muted and like boring. I don't know.
You think that's like a product of like the book being like having such solid material, and then with The Social Network, it's more like, well, how can I throw some drama? How can I like play this up? Yeah, that.
I mean, Sorkin, I think, obviously is 50% of why The Social Network is that good. I hate to give him that much credit, but that script is so fucking good. Like it's just solid. And this one, I think, like they just, I mean, the tone of Dragon Tattoo is so fucking dark that you're cut off at the knees in a lot of ways, I think. But then, like, to not take your filmmaking style any further just really proved that this is like not a movie or a place you want to like be at or visit. I don't know.
That's fair. Yeah, I get that. Maybe I'm dropping it down to 3 stars. Fuck. Maybe I
did it.
Yeah. Shit.
I wrote it on a movie 3.5, but I don't know. I've been contemplating dropping it down to 3, but I don't know.
I mean, I originally had a 3.5, so it's like I'm not like shit talking it at all.
For like impact, like this, that's why I was like waffling 4, because like it fucking gets the point across, and like I said, it kept me engaged pretty much throughout for it being like 2.5 hours. It did a good job there. So yeah,
I think I totally agree with you. But yeah, like I don't think I'd rewatch this movie, or at least not for a long time. I don't think I need to rewatch it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah.
There are like Swedish versions of this story that I hear are really well done too. So I might watch those someday. And they did all 3 of them. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, really? Wow. Forgot that they did that. It was like a few years back, right? Can't believe that. Yeah, I mean, they're never making a 3rd one. Yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
What's the last one called? I guess I could just Google it, but
something like that. Yeah, sounds about right.
Hornets are good.
Yeah. Interesting.
Rereadability. It's just not there. Not rewatchability. Rereadability.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's. I will say, like, at the end of this movie, like the moment of her like descending down into the grim city on her motorcycle, like metaphorically, that hit for me as like Daniel Craig's like taking his. Well, it's like just a dirty city, and like she's going down into the depths. Like she's obviously I don't know the rest of the stories, but like we were saying, she's on the beginning of her journey, and it's kind of sad to like that moment hit for me that I want to see like where she's going, but I don't care enough for like So it's just like,
yeah.
But that following the Fincher cycle, it's the highs and the lows. So next movie.
Well, we'll get like a graph.
Yeah. I feel like we're watching like a fucking cardiogram or whatever the fuck it's called. Like,
right. Yeah. Fincher's heartbeats.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, it'll be nice to finally see it.
I think I've tried watching it like 3 times and fallen asleep every time. So I'll try. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Ben Affleck. I don't fucking know. But
yeah, I mean, we'll talk next week on Gone Girl. It's gonna be a good one. So
right on.
Yeah. And what next? Just what we're watching? Is that it?
Just
I think so, yeah.
In passing. Extras.
Yeah.
Extra cut. All you normies, get out of here. Why are you even here?
I mean, I've been watching a lot of shit.
I know. I like to write down my list of like all my stuff.
Not a lot of movies for me though. Mostly TV. Last like a month. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of same-ish.
I finished Beef, so I was pretty happy with that.
Oh yeah, I did too. Since the last time we talked.
You like how it ended?
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. Personally, I didn't really like it that much. I liked the end, but like, and I feel like overall the pacing was kind of fucked. But I liked the ending. End.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was literally my only gripe with it, because like I liked the end. I just feel like getting there was like just a fucking struggle. I'm like, damn, I don't even want to finish this show after like episode like 6 or 7, because I'm like, these are 2 negative characters. Like
so much negative energy. Yeah, no, I feel that it definitely drags like a few episodes. But I thought it was a great show of like real people, frustrated people in the real world. Like people going through the daily grind, like dealing with shit. So
that's like a smart escalation of that show or that season to me too. Just like a moment that I remembered is like when they're in the forest or they crash their cars, all their phones are like scuffed up. And I don't know, there's like little details in that show, but it's like basically the lowest moment of those characters' life. And it's like, I don't know, you go off a cliff, your phone's all fucked up. It's like all these, it's like the escalation / de-escalation of like that situation is like
gotta pivot then. Yeah, it's like like getting to that point, hitting rock, and then like where do you go?
Coming back.
Yeah, it was funny. I mean, I liked when they did that near the end. Like ate the poison berries, ate the magic mushrooms. A lot of tripping, man. Drug related shit we've been watching.
Yeah, because like I finished Beat before I watched Midsommar, and I'm like, wow, is this all people want me to see? It's just like people tripping balls. They're both like A24 too. I'm pretty sure. Like,
yeah.
I know they're not meant the same. Like
hiring some creative people, man.
Yeah, man. Those company retreats. Sus.
To get all their ideas.
Yeah.
I guess
the only movie I watched recently actually is I did go see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah,
I don't want to like spoil it, but
the Netflix one that came out a while ago.
Actually, good.
A couple years ago. I didn't mind it. I thought it was funny, and they give the turtles like some dope like sage powers. Each of their weapons have different powers connected to them, and they all kind of fit the turtles' personality. So I was like, I fuck with this. It's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. But this was like in Spider-Verse style and not like
you definitely like it feels like a cousin of Spider-Verse just in like its execution or its ideas. But honestly, I want to listen to what the cousin has to say, because I think it had more style than Across the Spider-Verse. I don't know if that's like, and it had more like to do. Bold. I don't know.
I think it's like anything, like, because they were the first to do this new style, like Spider-Verse was. But I mean, like, it doesn't mean that they're like the best.
They're the best at doing one thing. Like their world is very special, and like their characters are very special. Specifically across the Spider-Verse, it just didn't like stand out to me as something that was like elevating what they had done before. But yeah, I mean, this is the first time they're trying a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles type, and it worked for me, man. I mean, like the animation's fucking glorious. It's like grimy as shit, and like it's like
graffiti-esque. Like
yeah, I mean, yeah, but like the creatures are all like weird amalgamations. The villain's Ice Cube, and his name is Superfly, and he's like this fucked up fly monster, and it's just fucking like bang it. Like it's just solid. Like I loved it. Shed one tear because of like passion, and it's based on Donatello saying he likes Attack on Titan, and I don't even like Attack on Titan that much, but it like the to me like. I mean, and Paul Rudd plays a character named Mondo Gecko, and like I strive to make that my spirit animal. Like that character is like one of the best characters I've seen in a long time. It's worth a watch. I'd check it out. It's funny. It's good.
All right. I fuck with the turtles, man. Always been a fan.
Yeah.
Dude, we got 4 turtles here, dog. What the fuck? No.
Gotta choose who's who, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, it's good.
Honestly, I'd probably be the Donatello.
Yeah.
Of this group, I don't know.
I feel like I'm either Mikey or I'm probably Mikey.
I'll take Leo. I'll take the lead.
Yeah, Alex, I don't know. I could see you being Raphael.
The angry one.
I don't know. I don't know you that well. So.
Maverick. Yeah.
Well, now we know. Oh. But yeah, that's only movie really I've seen.
I haven't seen much. Hmm. Oh shit! Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Damn.
That's
Dude, I
crazy.
love making those connections like that. I don't know. With watching new shit. I feel like I've done that like multiple times with shit that we've had to watch. Like I did that with Barry and Zodiac. Like I don't know, it's just like
It's the beauty of art.
Shit like that, yeah.
Yeah, like you watch stuff like that that's like semi-similar, and then but it puts it in like the perfect like lens, different perspective.
Yeah, recontextualizes it.
Yeah. That's cool.
What? I just finished the Trailer Park Boys. No way.
I've still never watched it.
I watched it all the way through recently. It's good. It starts really good, and it's got 12 seasons. But yeah, it's good shit. The movie is pretty good. Yeah, fucking yeah. I mean, Ricky is just like one of the best characters. I think one of the best like protagonist comedy characters ever written. I'd say, but. Yeah, they're in jail at the end of every season. They start the season leaving jail. That's like the same cycle they go through every season. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it blew my mind too watching this time all the way through that like it's before The Office and all these like it basically set standards that because The Office gets all the credit for being like it's the most revolutionary, but like I honestly think they took notes from Trailer Park Boys. So like,
Wow, I just
and
like
the main guy's like a doofus.
Oh yeah, go on.
Like a heart of gold doofus, like the main character. Like I think they took Michael Scott kind of like out of Ricky a little bit, but yeah.
Because I've been watching What We Do in the Shadows, like the new season, and like I realized like when I was watching the last episode, like this is literally like the same style as The Office, but with fucking vampires.
Yeah. It's like that show's like the last vestige of like the mockumentary, but also just like the like sitcom rating. I feel like it's solid. Don't get me wrong. I'm watching the new season too. It's pretty good.
The new season, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, a little bit like you like know the format enough to it'd be kind of boring.
Honestly, the last episode I think was the news episode, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that one actually just really gave me anxiety the whole fucking time.
Yeah. It's kind of sad that like that show has to reset its like characters every season. Even though this season they pushed Guillermo slightly more towards like the goals that they've been going towards the whole show, but like I don't know where you're gonna land Guillermo's character, honestly, at the end of the show. But
I feel like you just gotta.
He's too late to be a vampire now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like they're
I don't know,
tiptoeing around what they can do with him this season. So it's like
it's not like he's like eating a person. I'm assuming he can like still be cured or something.
That's something like I mean, to me, it's like this season shows that he wants to be human still.
Oh, holy shit! On that note, though, I've been reading manga. I think I mentioned to you guys that I don't know. I got the Shonen Jump app like about a month ago, and I've just been like flying through manga. So I finished the Demon Slayer manga because I picked up right where the anime left off, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty badass. I don't know.
Okay. I'm not as excited about Demon Slayer as I wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I've also been reading My Hero. It gets so fucking good. I feel like there's always like those dips where I'm like, it's like whatever, but then like I don't know, just like some moments just like hit.
The arcs hit.
Yeah, like sometimes I think it's like the perfect payoff for certain characters or something. Like I don't know, because like I'm like caught up to date now with it, and like so much shit has happened, but like it's not in the anime yet, and like I don't know.
He's getting close to ending My Hero, isn't he? Like,
yeah. I mean, I would assume it's I
don't know. I
heard he's but like, it's almost done. I will say that, but like, I don't know how much longer.
You think there's going to be like, I could see, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where the show is, like what the writer has in mind, obviously, but you think they'll do like a jump ahead to where they're like adult heroes, next gen type thing, where it's like, does he want to write more in that world, or like leave more, or just show the glow up, just be like our heroes now type thing.
Yeah. I want to see more past shit in that show. The like history of the quirks interests me like so much, and like All for One. Yeah. I like definitely want to know.
That'd be cool.
Maybe they'll go there. But
I did finish Vinland Saga. Forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And it's good, man. It's not like your typical, like, it's definitely got like the anime like oh fuck moments, but it's like not. It's not like what you think. It's framed. It's not like there's, at least in the first season, there's battles and blood, and like it's like, oh, like fuck yeah, this shit's going down. Like, people are warring plans, and like,
and then it gets into the politics.
Yeah, it does. It's like vying for the king. This guy's saying he's got a claim to the throne.
That's kind of what I assumed because of like the the like medieval knight aspect to it, or like whatever like I don't know.
Absolutely, it's like so like I don't know, not like. Yeah, kind of like King Arthur era, where like people are just fighting for their land and like
their families, their houses.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but the main character's arc is so fucking good, dude. Like it's so awesome, especially the second season. Like I am hyped.
It's done now.
Nice.
Is it done?
I don't know.
Show?
Oh shit! No, I don't. Yeah.
The second season at least. I hope not, because like where the second season ended, I'm like I'm ready to see.
Nice.
Like the main character like resolves all the conflict that was built in himself and like exteriorly in the first season. So
you kind of just see what he does now, that he doesn't have to deal with those consequences or whatever.
Now he's like back to square one, back to like where he can like do shit, I guess. He becomes a slave in the second season after what happens in the first season for reasons.
Yeah.
Good reasons. But
I think like that's my problem with Demon Slayer is that I don't give a fuck about the main character. I don't know. I really just don't care.
He's just too good.
I mean, he's just boring. Like he doesn't have like any. I guess like with Midoriya, I always like My Hero's like my anime, man, because that shit just like captured me. I don't know why, but
it's good. I don't know. And even like getting to. I don't know. I thought that like so much. I read like so much of that fucking manga like over the last like 2 weeks. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Midoriya is like clearly built on internal conflict. Like that man is going through miles a minute, and like we're all on board in his mind. Like with Demon Slayer, it's like maybe I gotta slice him in from the left. You know, I don't know. It's like
he's pulling
it
out
just doesn't
this
matter.
move. What?
I guess that's
Yeah.
true. But like there's a lot of anime and manga that's like written where they just like lead you a certain way because they're like, oh, this is like, I don't know, like the smart thing to do or whatever, or like how this person's thinking, I guess. But like I don't know. I feel like it's just like like it's like still just like taking your hand in a way that like I don't know, they're like leaves nothing up. It's just like filling the fucking room because you only have one frame. Like you only have one show going on right now.
Right.
So like
I mean, especially for like Demon Slayer, it's like it's hitting every anime trope. You know, like almost. I mean, I'm assuming a lot of animes are just feeling this way nowadays, but like, I just don't feel like it's anything that special for me. I don't know. It's like doesn't stand out.
I think for Demon Slayer, I think it just like could have been shorter.
Yeah.
Really? I find that I don't. It's like I'm almost. I'm in like season 4, but it's just like
shows. I feel like they like introduce a shit ton of characters over time, and like it's nice to see the payoff for all of those characters because you only mentioned like the main 2 characters of the shows, and like at the beginning of the shows, like that is like the focus of the show, and like for most of Demon Slayer, it's focused on him and his like arc, but like it is a kind of I don't know. From what
I like the other 2
it's about
characters.
A lot of other characters. I mean, like I don't know. You find out more shit about his name's Muzan. He's like Dracula, basically the Dracula of the show.
Nice.
Okay. But I don't know. You just find out like a lot of cool backstory shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, anytime like the demon organization is on screen, my interest immediately elevates. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just like I like a villain story.
Organization or the demon
or like when the demons are like calling their like top demons or whatever to like come meet the dude. Just immediately. I don't know. Maybe I just like want more interesting characters then, because those characters hook me immediately. You know, it's just like
those are all the characters I was talking about.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's like eventually the demons are going to be not considered bad or something, I guess, or as bad as.
I mean, even in the show where they're at now, I mean, you got pretty decent backstory for most of the demons they go over, except for maybe the guy in the pot.
They usually like once they're about to be dead, that's when they'll flashback and be like,
that's
this is how they got here. yeah. But it's decent. It's just not my favorite.
No, I totally get you. I mean, like I don't know, reading My Hero right now like reminded me of like what it was like to watch like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood for the first time. Because like I don't know, that show is just like probably my top 3 anime. It's just so fucking good, and like I don't know, it's nice that like in anime now, like today, it gives me that because like most of the time, it's like what you said. Like Demon Slayer did not give me that effect. Like I mean, it was good, but like I don't know, I feel like
My Hero's
too many tropes.
It's all tropes in Demon Slayer. My Hero's tropes. It's like homage tropes for me more, and it's got this heart of gold that is at the center of it. It's so nice, so nice.
And it's just like epic too. Like it
is. It gets there, for sure.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, other than anime, I guess.
So I also caught up on. Well, I guess one last anime.
Sure.
Oh, actually. So I started.
Only one. You only get one anime, Joe. You only get one. No, I'm just kidding.
I caught up to date on the Hunter x Hunter like manga because like there's like more after the anime, so I'm just like catching up on all the shit that I watched. That
I remember right. The anime kind of cuts off at a weird time.
I mean, kind of.
I can't remember. It's been a minute.
I feel like it actually was a pretty good end for the show.
Yeah,
that's why I'm like I didn't expect there to be more at the end, to be honest. But like. Probably like the last 5 chapters that I read because they just got to 400, but the guy takes like really long breaks because he like writes hunched over his chair, and he has like back problems. So he takes like year-long breaks. So like I have no idea when it'll come back again. And he stopped at the beginning of this year. But like he just I don't know, gave some backstory for like these villains that have been in the show for like a really long time. And but you don't really like know anything about them. They're like there, but like I don't know, they've kind of just been aligned with bad people that other characters have not liked, but they haven't been like the focus of the show. So like these people like have just been in the show for a long time, and I don't know, they revealed some backstory from like when they were kids, like where they came from and shit, and it was just like probably some of the best. Like this was before I read My Hero and Demon Slayer, but this was still probably some of the best manga shit or anime shit that I read in a while. Just like this little arc of their backstory. Because like
nice.
I don't know, it's like a hidden gem. Because like I don't really think Hunter x Hunter is like. I mean, it's decent,
okay. Yeah.
but like there's just so much. It's like My Hero in the sense where they just fucking explain everything. Like reading that is like literally like reading a book because there's like almost no art. Sometimes it's just all words.
Text.
It bubbles.
Hot bubbles. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's my last anime. We can go on to something else.
Cool.
Damn, I do have more on here.
Yeah, I watched Hijack on Apple Plus because I was hearing a lot of like critics talk about this show.
Okay.
And it's got Idris Elba, and it's about hijacking a plane and him basically just talking the situation down. Yeah, I think it's going to beat Silo for worst show of the year for me.
Oh, damn, okay.
Yeah, I was excited. I was semi-excited because I was like, well, there's got to be some quality here if like people are talking about it. So one of the most boring, bland, terribly shot, like it seemed like they filmed it in like 2 weeks with the cheapest budget they could have done, and then like had no interesting characters, had no like dramatic hooks, had no fucking like guidance to be like a compelling story. I don't know. I did not get on board, pun intended, but I'm glad. I don't know. Apparently they're going to do a second season. Apparently they might do a second season.
Damn,
I don't.
okay.
I swear to God, if they do a second season,
I was gonna ask if you like just stopped watching it because I assumed it was like coming out.
You know, I was talking to my girlfriend about this very thing where I was like, I gotta watch 3 more episodes of Hijack. And she's like, why don't you just stop? I was like, because it's 1 season and it's 7 episodes, and like I have like a code to like finish a story now, and it's like sad,
shit.
but
and it's like hilarious because like somebody actually told me that recently too, where it's like, why don't you just stop? And I'm like, I fucking can't. Like I gotta finish.
I got a problem. Yeah. I gotta fucking.
It's gonna be bugging me. Like, how the fuck does this end? Like, I could watch it, you know. Like,
I can at least now stop shows when I know I don't want to invest like seasons worth of material. I'll stop at like a season when I'm like, I'm good. I'm not going season 6. You know, I'm like, fuck it. Like Shameless, I did like 7 seasons or whatever. I'm like, I'm done. You know, like so I can at least cut some off, but. Like with Hijack, it's like I gotta finish their first season to see if there's like anything here, you know. Like I don't know.
I've definitely done that with series before, which I think why my philosophy has changed. I did it with that Medici show. You guys like see that on Netflix like a while back, where it was just like all about the Medici family in Italy and like the banking, that era of like conflict in Italy between families, basically city states.
It sounds interesting. But
it was like kind of interesting. It just felt more of like more like acting practice, more like theater than like a whole like in cap. Like I don't know, just than like a cool story.
Quality.
It's like
it's just
like actually acting out what it was like.
Yeah.
I think so. It's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So it was just a little dull, like a little dull and a little boring for me. So
that's why now for me.
Yeah, The Crown. That's crazy. I've heard. I'll tell you that.
I watched 1 season and I was like, I can't do it.
That's like what 8 seasons? That's got a lot of seasons too. No,
that's why I've never really watched it too. 6, I don't think like that's like my kind of show. Like I'll watch like a documentary, but like historical fiction like that, where they like fill in dialogue of like actual events that happen. Like,
it's like dramatized.
I'm not really as into.
It's got to be like very well. It's got to be David Fincher Zodiac level of research going on if you're gonna do shit like that.
It's also just got to be like, because actually it brings up a good point, because I'm watching Winning Time right now, and I find this to be a decent show and actually kind of interesting because it's all about the Lakers, even though they're definitely filling in gaps like hardcore. Like they're just like, fuck it, that sounds cool, you know, like. But I don't know. I think like for The Crown, you just have to have like interesting things to talk about, and like I don't give a fuck about the royal family. Like I just don't. Like,
so fucking bland.
I watch the Lakers though. Fucking hell yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's just the type of person I am, I guess. So
yeah, no, same. But now I've like I've shifted where it's like if I'm not in like, honestly, like probably episode 3. If I'm not on board by the end of the 3rd episode, like I'm probably out.
I actually go now to like Reddit or some shit for shows because I started Black Sails, and that first season of Black Sails is absolutely terrible. And I was like, why do people keep talking about Black Sails, man? Because that first season was so boring. Like, and then I see everybody's like, you just gotta watch season 2, and once it gets into the next season, so like, so I watched like halfway through season 2, and I'm like, you know what?
Terrible.
No, it's not as good as like I want it to be, but it's picking up, and like you can tell that the filmmakers learned lessons, which is like if because I agree, like 3 episodes is like a pretty good taste for a show, but like sometimes I gotta watch a little bit more to see if they like learned and improved. I don't know, but you can't give it to every show, so you just gotta choose.
I guess like I was thinking about it. I did only watch 1.5 episodes of Secret Invasion, and then I stopped. So
that's more than most.
That's understandable. Yeah.
Hey, I don't know.
I hear that has like one of the lowest Rotten Tomatoes scores in like history now. The final episode of that show.
I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know.
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know. Not super surprised. I like me some Samuel, but sorry, dude.
I watched all of Black Mirror. I actually watched all of Black Mirror before I watched Midsommar and Hereditary, and I feel like
it's a dark journey.
It was a good, like, I don't know, Black Mirror got me into it, and
eased in and then really fucked you up.
Eased into the fucked upness.
Yeah.
Nice. But I don't know.
I watched the last 2 this season. Still,
you did watch the end.
I still have to watch the last 2.
It's like I wanted to talk to you guys about like the last one because like I'm pretty sure like I don't know. There's like loose ties to like 1984, but like also like I'm wondering if it's like just the end, and they won't do anymore, which like I would actually be cool with. But
yeah, I think he's a guy that just like picks it up every few years when he feels like it.
I'm cool with.
Yeah, something like this season I haven't finished because like the third episode was so dark.
Yeah,
that like I just don't know if I need to feel this darkness right now. I don't. It's just straight up. It's like,
especially if it like didn't need to go that way either. Right. Like,
it's like you just wanted to take it Black Mirror. I don't know. It's like now you're like buying into the brand a little too much, kind of. But I enjoyed the first 3 though for what they were. They felt Black Mirror, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like after that, like episode 4, I think there's only 5 episodes. I could be wrong. But the 4th episode, the one right after the one you just watched,
I hear that's the worst.
I don't even think like I don't know. In my mind, Black Mirror it's basically like the Twilight Zone, but weird technology shit. This one has like not really that much to do with technology. It's like based in like probably the early 2000s, and there's a character I would call like a Britney Spears person basically because it's about like paparazzi, but after that it has like nothing to do with technology, so I'm just like, well, how is this like Black Mirror? I don't know, it's just kind of weird. It reminded me of like you guys ever watch those movies called VHS? There's like a shit ton of them. I think
I gotta watch them still.
They were like I don't know. Yeah. I thought they were pretty fucking bad, but it reminded me of like that because like it's kind of just like a bunch of fucked up stories. Like they're kind of the same thing. Like I don't know. It's just, one has more production value or like
right. More thought put into one over the other.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you guys have other
only VHS, Joe. How dare you?
Wow.
I didn't think it was horrible.
It's got a cult following.
It was okay. Yeah.
It's like a little. Yeah, it's kind of.
They were kind of interesting. Like some of them. Like I didn't know
they're like good concepts. Some of them were pretty. Concepts. But,
the only other show that I care to like
the sequels are shit. But.
discuss is How To with John Wilson right now is like the best show running, I'd say. But if you guys aren't watching it, I'd highly recommend getting into that show right now.
Yeah, I can pick that up.
Yeah, it's fucking good, man. And it scratches an itch like Nathan Fielder's stuff. Like nobody, there's not many people that can do it like John Wilson can do it. Like honestly, and me and Joe were talking this week, and it's like some of the footage he gets is like straight up unbelievable. Like it's like you can't understand what you're witnessing.
I would assume he's filming like all the time. I think I was talking to one of my friends, and he said like John Wilson had just banked like a shit ton of stuff, and footage. I think he probably pulls from that because in like the first season, in the first episode, you hear that he was like working those kind of like I don't know those ads. I don't know what really the name for him is, but so he just got like so much random fucking footage of just random shit, and I think he was just like probably filming just all the time. But I think
he just wanders New York and with a camera and like grabs it.
I think he just has like a shit ton of just clips of just random shit.
Archives,
shells. Yeah, like
The way he can thread stories is something special because you can tell he's like on the fly kind of coming up with it, but also like it's got train tracks led. It's kind of crazy, like, and you like wonder how he does it.
Either like what he's saying is leading the way, or like his shots are leading the
way.
You
don't know which one's which at times.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
I can get down with that. That's
fun. That's good shit.
I can only watch so much of Nathan because it's just like. Yeah, small doses. It's good, but I can only take so much. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
It's like those types of things are like the closest look at humanity to me. Even though they're like narratively led, it's like you get to witness a real person like on camera, like acting as if like. Dude,
that's why I like explaining. Like it is basically reality TV. Like, true, I mean, it is real people. Like it's just like not what you would consider reality TV.
Like, in the most like unfiltered way, basically. It's like crazy,
strange ass scenarios.
Yeah. Anything else you guys got? Or I got to piss so bad, but what you guys got? Something?
The Witcher.
Yeah. Say Witcher? I don't want to talk about The Witcher.
I had hopes.
Bad. Like it was so bad, dude. Like I don't know. I mean, now I'm definitely done with the show. Like, why would I continue if you got rid of my boy? Like,
how can you burn a show down? Like they ran that thing into the ground season by season.
I know. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Source the actor. They just don't. They did not give a shit.
Baba Yaga, all right.
Well, that saved everything.
They didn't call her Baba Yaga though. They called her some weird demon name. So yeah, that wasn't really the best.
Nice, but
you guys play those games, the Witcher games?
No, I hear they're good. That's the one, right?
Yeah,
I was talking to my brother about like possibly like listening to them on audiobook, but I guess the English they're written in Polish because like, the author's Polish, and I guess like the translation is just like so bad. So like,
it's not worth it. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's been a good chat. I don't know. I had a good time. I'm excited to potentially talk next week. I guess, did you guys want to do another movie chest?
I was gonna say, should we draw?
Should I draw them?
I'd be down. There's not like too much in theaters.
Right? Something else.
Okay, yeah, do that fucking.
All right. Well, I'm going to piss real quick, and then I'm going to draw a movie chest. Unless you guys just want to sign off and I'll send a pic of it. It's up to you guys.
That sounds good, too.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, we can pick
I gotta go to bed soon,
offline. Yeah, I just got to piss so bad right now. I just came like in a wave of like 10 minutes.
Sounds good. See you guys.
All right. Yeah. Good talk, guys.